Hello there, Internet. Top 69 Mythic player here, coming at you with another MTG video for you guys today, and that is not some random intro. I'm actually officially in the top 69 of the Mythic ranked ladder, and I think this is one of my greatest achievements ever. Definitely in the top 69 of said achievements in my life. I feel like I wanted to share it with you guys. How did I get so high up in here, and how did I get that sexy ranking? Well, I did so with this Dimir deck list right here, which I initially got from a tournament deck from the first ever Throne of Eldraine tournament. It was posted on the Spike subreddit. This deck placed second in said tournament and was the most intriguing list, at least in my eyes, and I definitely wanted to give it a shot myself. I have tweaked the original deck list quite a bit, as the original deck list did run a couple of Thief of Sanities, main deck Noxious Grasp, which I believe was more of a meta call, and the sideboard was quite different as well. But credits go to the actual original deck, and I gotta say, it is deceptively powerful. So what is this deck about, and why is it so awesome? Because initially when you think about Dimir, you think about control. Like a more discard-heavy version of an Esper control deck. Like that's what most Dimir deck lists are. Either that, or of course, an Agent of Treachery Reanimator Blood for Bones list. But this is something completely different. This is a mill / control mid-range. It's hard to label it because it's not really full-on control, but it's also not really that creature-heavy. But it's basically like I guess a mid-range mill deck is a way to say it, and it revolves around Lochmere Serpent as a win condition. This is a really cool creature that was introduced with Throne of Eldraine. It is a 6-mana Dimir Serpent with 7 power and 7 toughness, flash, which means we can cast this at instant speed, and preferably at the very end of our opponent's turn to kind of like Omai wo Mushindaru on them. And a very interesting set of abilities as well. We can tap 1 blue mana and sacrifice an island to make sure that Lochmere Serpent cannot be blocked that turn, which means we can put the opponent on the clock. This is perhaps the most crucial ability. Maybe not so. Maybe like the third one is just as crucial, but this one is the way we win games. The second one is in case we are in a dragged out match and we have flooded a little bit, we can tap some black mana, sacrifice swamps, and gain 1 life and draw a card every time we choose to do so, which is a really nice refueling mechanic as well. And the alongside the first one, a very, very crucial ability that this Serpent has is the ability to just be returned from our graveyard to our hand by exiling 5 cards from the opponent's graveyard. We can only apply this effect anytime we would cast a sorcery, by the way, so we can't do this at instant speed. This is really nice because we have a mill strategy. We have cards that benefit from our opponent having a stacked up graveyard. Not only Lochmere Serpent, but the likes of Vantress Gargoyle and Drown in the Loch. Drown in the Loch I'm going to talk about first because I think this is the main reason why this deck is as viable as it is. Just so you guys know, I went undefeated from 800 and something in Mythic rank to top 69. So I did not lose a single best of 3 series. I only played best of 3 with this, by the way. So today's content or gameplay is going to be best of 3. And I did so, I think, mainly because of this win condition, and Drown in the Loch's just incredible power. As a 2-mana instant, it is just amazing. With this, we can choose either to counter target spell or destroy target creature. And set targets must have converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of cards in our opponent's graveyard. Because we have resources to mill the top of our opponent's deck and fill up their graveyard, this card very quickly becomes extremely potent and can just deny any sort of play our opponent wants to make or kill off a very big threatening creature, due to the fact that we have not only the likes of Enter the God Eternals, which we know is a very nice anti-aggro tool that can also happen to mill our opponent out of 4 cards, we also got early game mill tools such as 4 copies of Warworm Apprentice, who I love his face, by the way. I don't know, I think this art is pretty memey, pretty funny, and 2 copies of Merfolk Secret Keeper. This mills the opponent out of 2 cards and also enables us to scry 2, which is fantastic in the early game. And then Merfolk Secret Keeper, which we have as a 2 of, is kind of like this generation's Stitcher Supplier, but it has a bigger impact initially as we get to mill the opponent out of 4 cards, and of course Stitchers can only be applied to us, right? I say that because I think I will be using Secret Keeper as a substitute for Stitches in upcoming Reanimator deck list that I will be trying to update, post Throne of Eldraine. Regardless, in this this particular deck, we want to use Merfolk Secret Keeper to mill the top of our opponent's deck early on and potentially enable an early Vantress Gargoyle to start attacking. And that is a pretty nutty thing because if you look at this, it is a 2-mana 5/4 with flying. That is ridiculously overstated, because 5/4 is a huge deal, and on top of that, it flies. So if we get this to attack on turn 3 onwards, our opponent is on the clock. And we can actually enable that way easier than you would expect, because it does have a pretty big requirement to be able to attack. We have to have our opponent have 7 cards in their graveyard or more, which we try to enable with Apprentice, with Secret Keeper, and potentially with Gargoyle himself. And obviously our opponent, even Thought Erasure can work in that sense. And also our opponent potentially playing some instants or sorceries early on and filling up the graveyard themselves. This card also punishes stuff like Fabled Passage in the early game as well, because, any card that our opponent plays, or even Once Upon a Time, any sort of like early game plays like that, we benefit from, because we have a chance to start attacking with this bad boy earlier. He can also only block if we have 4 cards or more in our hand, which is a very easy requirement to meet in the early game, which is pretty nice, because at the very least we have a 5/4 with blocker on turn 2. So this card is actually pretty powerful. I was excited to try it out, and this feels like the perfect shell for it. We are Dimir, so we are playing 4 copies of Thought Erasure, and we're playing 4 copies of Murder Strider for obvious reasons. Best disruption and one of the best sources of single target removal in the game. We have an extra removal with Tyrant Scorn as a one-off, triple Narset, and a one-off of Fish, aka Drawn from Dreams, to enable us to refuel and search for key answers. And then we have a one-off of Kefnit, Cavalier of Gales. I like these two. These were additions of mine personally. I think they fit this deck pretty well as a one-off each. And a one-off of Jace, Wielder of Mysteries for matchups that drag out against control decks that will not kill us quickly by any means. We can use Jace as a potential win condition as we aim to actually mill our opponents, because the main game plan here is not to mill our opponents. It's to fill up their graveyard so we can benefit from powerful cards like Gargoyle and Serpent, which is our main finisher. But there are going to be certain games in which it's going to be difficult for us to finish our opponent because they have a very reactive deck, and in that case, we resort to Jace for the win. And then we have a one-off of Into the Story, which is a Chemist's Insight on steroids in case we have a milling strategy like this, because we need our opponent to have 7 or more cards in the graveyard. But that is a pretty easy requirement for us to achieve, and it's a very nutty card draw effect, as you guys can see. Drawing 4 cards at instant speed for 4 mana, that's just pretty bonkers. And that is the deck list right there. When it comes to the sideboard, we have Triple Dress, 2 Legion's End, 3 Noxious Grasp, 2 Mystical Dispute, very good sideboard card. Witch's Vengeance as a 2 Unmoored Egos, and an extra copy of Enter the God Eternals to enable us to improve our matchups against aggro, control, combo, gates, etc. We covered pretty much most of the metagame with this. I think maybe one of our worst matchups may be the Esper Dance of Means deck. I have not ran into that deck myself, so it's hard to say, but we are Dimir and we struggle dealing with enchantment, so that is one of the deck's major weaknesses. But I have some pretty good gameplay for you guys today. 2 best-of-3 series against very high-ranked opponents. And it's one of them is, I believe, Golgari Aggro, and the other one is Sultai Flash. So like a better version of Simic Flash in best-of-3. And it's pretty quality stuff, I think. I think you guys are going to enjoy the games, and hopefully you enjoy this deck. I'm a Dimir fanboy, you guys know that. And I know a lot of you are too. And a lot of you have been wanting to see Lochmere Serpent in action, so here we go with the top tier deck to boot. Hopefully you enjoy the games. Leave a like and subscribe for more daily MTG content. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. We've been getting pretty fortunate with the coin tosses lately. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. I don't like how I have so many swamps here, but I still have a turn 1 Overwhelmed Apprentice. I could turn 1 this though. No, this is a good enabler. Like I play this, I scry, then I play the Gargoyle. And then with this, I have 6 cards in the graveyard. If my opponent plays any sort of like instant or sorcery, something that sends to the graveyard, then I can start attacking with the Gargoyle. So I like that quite a bit. We're gonna lead off with the Scream here from Van Gogh. I mean, to be fair, that would be my phase 2 if I saw a bunch of fucking like flying books. I get it. All right. You know what? We're keeping the Enter the God Eternals. And we're keeping this. Look at that. I'm actually happy to see that once upon a time, because that means that when I play Merfolk Secret Keeper, I'll be able to attack with Vantress. So I'm going to play a... Basically, thanks to this setup, I'm going to play a turn 2 Vantress Gargoyle. A turn 2 5/4 with flying. Unless it dies. But what 2 mana removal could he have for this? There ain't no cast. I'm actually happy to not see cast down anymore. It makes, you know, removal is like more interesting now. It's not as clear. This card is so fucking good though. This card is so good. And now... Oh, look at that magic number, baby. We do miss out on Drown in the Loch because of our mana base here, but it's still worth it. That's nice. I love Fabled Passage. And I love Anime Islands. It's crazy, like, it's actually just like this. This card is what really makes this archetype just super solid. All right. What if I attack with the zombie army? In order to kill it, he has to block with multiples. He doesn't really want to block this. Because he can block with this. And no, he can block with these two. Am I willing to trade the zombie army into... Because I can always just play the Lochmere Serpent at the end and just start paying. I think that's my best approach here. I think Lochmere Serpent and just start to sacrifice islands to run through him is the best idea. Omae Mu Shindaru. He searches for Murderous Rider. We counter it. Or not even that. Alright, let's go with these. Let's go with these. These with this. I honestly think Kefnet is unnecessary. Can you sacrifice for Watery Grave for both island and swamp? I believe I should be able to. It's an island and a swamp. I'm not 100% sure though, because sometimes you know how MTG warding can be. But I'm pretty sure I can do that. How good is Witch's Vengeance? It's good enough. I can drop one Narset, especially now that I'm going second. I can play 3 Noxious Grasp. I mean, Gargoyle's pretty good here. I can drop 1 Gargoyle. No, I like Gargoyle. I can drop 1 Noxious Grasp. The deck is not there yet. I've yet to share it. I'm gonna drop 1 Cavalier here. Uh-oh. Fucking timer, seriously, man. Guys, if you're playing best of 3 and you hear that sound, do not look at the bar up there. It's broken. I don't know if I should have kept the Gargoyle, to be honest. It's 2 games in a row he's gotten Once Upon a Time, his opening hand. I will gladly trade that for that. Oh my god, you have no idea how glad I am to do that. I also want to deal with this now that I can with a Noxious Grasp. Noxious Grasp is also good for the Questing Beast though. This card is like really solid. What do I do here? I could Narset, but I don't feel like I need to be searching for stuff now. I need to be dealing with the board. I need to be slowing him down. I could also just keep drowning the Lodge, but unfortunately I don't have enough to counter. I could Murderous Rider this, but Murderous Rider is like super flexible. But I kind of like the Murderous Rider. I like the Murderous Rider here actually, the more I think about it. Purely for tempo sakes, because like I said, he's playing Questing Beast. So the Noxious Grasp is definitely going to find a target. Okay, that's good. That does enable me to go for Drowning in the Loch here. What can Narset search me that I don't already have? I'm going to drop Narset. Okay, I should have dropped the land if I knew we were going to draw like that. I have to be careful because he could be playing Veil of Summer post sideboard, so I did take a risk there. Now I'm flooding quite a bit. I can't really afford to play the... Didn't expect to get flooded like that, so I should have. I mean, to say I should have discarded a land, like you can't really predict drawing like so many lands in a row, right? I do want to keep the. I mean, now that I'm going first, I do want to go back to. Kefnet could be good, because Kefnet blocks the Rankle. Witch's Vengeance doesn't seem to be as good in this matchup at all. I'm just gonna take out Witch's Vengeance. And I'm going to go with that. I could go with another Noxious Grasp. But I think Narset. Because Narset shuts down the Great Hanja as well. I do like Thought Erasure too. Like Thought Erasure is a 4 of when I'm on the draw. It makes more sense. Leech's End is not... Like, it's good against... It's good. It's good in this matchup. Take out one Gargoyle, perhaps. Let's go with this. I'm going to keep turn 1 Overwhelmed Apprentice. Can really help out my draws. I have entered the God Eternals here. Once Upon a Time. Every single game he's gotten Once Upon a Time in his opening hand. Every single game, dude. Hello, Mick. I know I'm dropping a land that guarantees me, you know, the Enter the God Eternals, but I really don't want to flood again. And there we go. I actually want to play this now just to thin through my deck. Draw here. In case he top decks into a Veil of Summer that he sideboarded in. I'm just gonna make use of my lieges in here. I could just counter anything he does, but I don't think I need to do that. I'm just gonna play Murderous Rider to apply a little bit of pressure. Nice. It's good. You can always have more sources of black mana, considering we have this to draw cards with. Four, five, six, seven. I wanted to commit the mana first. And we're in this, boys. He has to tap for this, but he has to, he can't really cast this turn, so he has to wait till the end of my turn. We're gonna get going, baby. We gotta get good! First of all, we place. Ooh. This deck is really good. This deck is like really good. I'm sorry, little mage, but oh, you didn't have to die. You did not have to die. Top 100, boys. Too bad I don't have my shades here. Alright, let's see what we get. This hand is fantastic. Me gusta. 2 centimeters is average. Your mom is average. Soul tie? Soul tie with... By the way, I love this card art. And that Fabled Passage is good for us, too. I really like this card. Like, the art. Growth Spiral? How does it feel, Mr. Sultai Flash? Get countered, bitch. If he had the Cutthroat, he would have played that first. This is an instant. Oh my god, that's an instant. That's fantastic. That's so good. Counter this. Party pooper. Right, no wolves. My Wumu. Snake Maru. Alright. I love this card though, because we can just keep bringing it back. Ooh. Ooh. Woo! Ooh! Sorry. Unsummon and Tyrant Scorn. This is a very annoying hand. Holy shit. You're not gonna... Yeah, you're not gonna waste your cards on this. I'm really loving this card, guys. I'm really liking this card. I saw some people say in the early days, like this guy who said, Lochmere Serpent is a trap. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's test this out. Nice. Before he can scorn it. I'd rather wait one turn with the Serpent. I don't mind, but I want to. That's a 3 attack flyer that's going to bring down my health really fast. Having that said, I'm gonna draw. Because I like to live on the limit. Ooh. We got him on lockdown here. Like this Serpent is just too much for him. No, shit. This is too much for me. Fuck me, man. I mean, now I have a total of 5, 6, 7. Okay, we can go with this. That's fine. He's going full in on this Preserver. Because he knows he's on the clock. But we're in such a good position here. It's actually insane. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, why not just play this now? This is a legit threat, but he's revealed a land there, which means he only has one card in hand. As long as he can't pump this, we're good. We don't need to draw right now. Ooh, Kefnet is pretty nice. What an asshole. Okay, how much mana do I have? I could have just played this and played the Murderous Rider. That was kind of foolish on my part. It's pretty good. Do I have enough mana here? Do I have enough mana to draw? I have a total of 5, 8. I need 4 mana to draw with this, so no. It's all right. We'll just caffeinate it. Reveal. Got it. Actually, I should have targeted the 3-1 because that would prevent him from... Okay. We obviously want Dispute. Noxious Grasp could be pretty key as well. I want Duresses though. And I do want a couple of Noxious Grasp, right? He's playing Sultai though. It only really hits the Wolf, which I have removal for anyways. Don't dislike Into the Story. I think Cavalier of Gales is pretty decent, but it's also easy for him to counter. Maybe Tidoress is good enough because he has a lot of creatures as well. Let's go with this. I'm gonna keep this. It's low on lands, but it'll do. Doesn't matter because I'm gonna. Well, I could keep that there. It does. It does actually matter. Okay, so he has the Veil of the Summer. Definitely something to expect here. We have the Fabled Passage. We're not going to. We're going to attack here. Because I want to draw into this. All right. Honestly, I forgot about the Preserver. I was thinking about the Cutthroat. That is fine by me. If he has a Veil of Summer, we could be in trouble. Because we could take a big hit here. Ah, shit. Okay. I drop Kefnet.
Meditate and prepare.
This card is bananas, dude. This card is just bananas. Drown in the Loch is just insane. Alright, so now we're stabilizing. We got Narset in there. Sorry if I haven't been narrating as much, by the way. Like, I've been really focused into the game. Free duress? Yes, thank you. Can I get me some easies in the chat, please?
Hone your prowess.
I'm just gonna abuse them. I don't care about Narset. I'm just gonna go face. We gotta put him on the clock.
Warrior. I concede.
Whew. No, I'm not gonna reveal this. All right. Head exploding in 3, 2, 1. .5. All right, it's gonna be Serpent then. GG.
Here comes the DJ.
Hey, what was the email address for sending you deck pics? Got a deck you might enjoy.
Sold him one for the 3 months. Top 65? Top 70. Hashtag top 70. Thank you so much, buddy. It's called sendmedeckpic@gmail.com. It's right there. Top 69, exactly.